One second. Hello. How are you? I hope you're doing well. If you're watching on YouTube, you can catch us live at twitch.tv/talksabouttoo. And if you are on YouTube and you like what you see, maybe leave a like, maybe leave a comment, maybe even a little subscribe. And if you don't like to see, feel free to leave a dislike and tell me why. I hope you have a wonderful day, and let's get into this. Hello, Light. How you doing? We get the music up and rolling. Anyway, can you hear me? I guess you can. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. I'm kind of tired. I did exercise today. In that I went swimming and stuff. I did it at least once, you know. Florida. Alright, in theory music. Hello, Nom Nom. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you've been well. Alright, let me get the game up and rolling. Oh. Let me turn this down on my side. Alright, I think we're continuing on with what I've been doing the last while. Anyway, hello. Which is, of course, I'm working on the ancient city. The irony. It's almost time for me. Yeah, it has. As the baby. And the wife. I hope you've been well. Alright. Yeah, how's your family? How have you been doing? Let's see. Hey, that is crazy. Cool. Oof. So that's pretty awesome. I'm glad to hear. Other than obviously having to deal with but other than that, pretty awesome. Sounds like life is looking up. All right. Yeah, so I've been working on this and doing this. I'm trying to decide what I want to do next. But I do need to figure out how to deal with that as well. I'm not gonna start my rant. I'm not gonna start the rant. Fair enough. We'll make sure you get your rest. Because that is healthy. Alrighty, also, you don't want to get your girlfriend mad. So, yeah. Anywho. But, like, I've been working on this. I'm trying to decide if I want to continue. How do I want to continue? I do want this to be like this, like I've said. I'm trying to decide if I want to go get a whole bunch of, wood for sticks and ladders, to be more exact, so that I can actually dig this all the way down that I want to have it at, which is, as you can see down here. Because I think that would be good, because then it gives actually a reason for these bridges to kind of be the way they are and everything. Because it feels a little weird here. I kind of explained it last time with everything I've been doing, but yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. And then I'm going to need to pull this in. And yeah. I don't want to pull this in. Like so. But I haven't decided what I wanted here. But I probably should. Thank you. Yep. It has definitely changed a lot. I suppose that's what happens when it's like I slowly get more used to kind of making things and stuff as well. Because 2 years is a long time. 2.5 years, actually. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's nice. I enjoy streaming, honestly. Oh, I feel like what I do most on stream is rant. I mean, like you want to know something annoying in Minecraft? Ooh. I can tell you so many things that are so bad about this ancient city. And that is what I do mostly. Well, for example, this thing here. So this is an odd number building here, right? On the outside. This statue is even. So on this side you've got 3. On this side, you have 2. Because it doesn't fit. Because they made a building that does not fit the statue. And they didn't bother to just make this like 1 thinner. And that's not the only building that does this. I had to fix that one over there, the bridge. Same problem. The roads are effectively all odd, you can see. And down here, I'm changing this to actually... Hello, Differentiate, 1 second. I will do that. Alright. Yeah, I can keep going. Alright. 1, 2, boo-boo. Boo-boo. Oh my god. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 19, 20. And then I'm gonna be standing there. I know, it's your spot. Hello, Frenchie, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. 5, 6, 9, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oof. I'm sorry to hear it. I hope things get better. Whew. I really do. At least I hope it's not too bad. There's no ability to recover. Anyway. I'm sorry to hear that he had a heart attack, but I'm glad to hear that your mom was able to save his life. That's pretty good. I mean, it's horrible overall, but at least it's a happy ending. I guess. I hope he gets better. Well, recovers. Be more accurate, I suppose. Yeah, that's the way to think. Here's good vibes and thoughts and prayers. So yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that overall he's doing okay. You know, that's good. In theory. Probably sounding horrible because I'm like not understanding something, but overall. Like, heart conditions are scary. Like, I've known people with heart conditions, so it's like, I do get it's pretty scary. Yeah, that is... Yeah. Hello, Thomas. How you doing? Mm-hmm. Always good. Anyway. Well, I guess I hope that I can do the only thing that I can do for you, and that is to just be a good type of distraction that's not too distracting. That's all I got, unfortunately, ability-wise. Thank you. Here, you want me to get back to my rant, or you want me to do something else? Oh, do I have food? I should have food. As you know, my rant about all the buildings in this place. Alrighty. Either way, as I was saying, I do need to. I'm not need to. I'm probably gonna work more on this because I've gotten a lot of it done, changing this up and all that. Because there's so much. I go here. But, like, I mean, overall, it's like, oh, it's a ruin, so you're not gonna notice. But it's like once you start trying to repair things and everything, you notice things are just not right. I mean, like, you can see first here, like, this doesn't feel right at all. Like, if you're walking, like, you're seeing that, and then beyond that, Anyway, but yeah. And then this mess. As I said, odd number of roads of any kind. I know technically these are each 2 even roads, but the way they do it is an odd. And then it goes into this, which is even. I'm trying to mitigate that a little bit. And it's not perfect, and I've messed a few things up. Like, this does not look great, but it's what I've got. It at least looks better than what it was. That's what I'm going to keep telling myself. Also, I swear I had... Also, I'm not even going to complain today. I'm not even going to complain today. I've complained so many times in the last couple weeks. I just don't think it's getting fixed. If you know, you know. If you don't and you don't want to know, don't look at the top left side of my screen. Because it's just more annoying and frustrating than anything else. Anyway, like I said, I probably should work on either the road, because I've got quite a bit of the road done, honestly. Or not road, but this side here. And then eventually I'm going to obviously pull these out into the roads that are going to be back here. And I should remove these buildings as well, because they can't be here. And they don't fit. Stylistically. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can't even tell that, like, a year ago, like, this was kind of really different. Well, a proper ancient city. And I mean it when I say a year, because it'll be like a year in October. Because that's when I started this project. I mean, this is relaxing. Ranting is relaxing for me. Honestly. As I've said before, like, part of why I end up ranting is because I actually like the game. And it just frustrates me. But at the same time, like, it's not that bad. Could be worse. Okay. If you say so. But, as I said, I'm trying to decide if I want to go get a bunch of wood, like I said, and then just kind of dig down the amount I need for these, because I'm thinking... See, I can still get up for it now, but... Like, I'm thinking I want it to take it all the way down, right? To here, as I said. Because I just think... I honestly think otherwise it feels really, really weird that you've got the bridges the way they are, and... Well, the thing with a lot of art is it's up to interpretation. And then you get things like this, and I'm just gonna say, like, I feel like the issue with this place is it's not art. It's just not quality control. As I've said, like, that's the biggest thing to me, like, putting things together, and then that's what I'm kind of really left with. Like, this should be flat like this here. I've changed it to this because otherwise you're bonking your head as you go up the stairs. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and I thought, you know, they've got these little statues all over the place, right? For the warden. So I just kind of made a little one for right there that kind of fits. But things like that really bug me. But like I said, I like the game overall. I just think it's kind of disappointing that a lot of their newer stuff is just kind of been so And not like as in just bad. It's just as an overall, it's not really like long-term play. That's the big thing. Mind you, I don't think my building style is much better. I mean, it's fun, but I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a better builder or anything. I just... It bugs. Because it's like calling it a city, it ain't functional. And it just isn't. Like, I can pretend it is all I want, but it really isn't. Which is the shame. I'm just seeing if I have any wood here. I do actually have some wood here. Nice. I'll take about half. Let's see how many I can quickly make. Alright, and then just make 33 ladders. So I can make the first ladder at least, and I should do what I need. Well, a city is a place where you'd have people actually living. And thus, yeah, exactly. It's not terribly functional. Like, as I've said, like, this is normally, like, too short. And the thing is, beyond it just being super annoying looking, functionality-wise, it actually would be pretty bad. Heck, I mean, the very fact that the buildings that would be for actually survival kind of thing, like, well, a town is effectively, if you want to go off a city, a smaller city, Although in reality, a city would just be a bigger town, but it's the same kind of idea. But all I'm really saying is, like, you get all these buildings like this. I mean, yes, you got the cool, it clearly is meant to look like the original Warden design and all that. But that just means this is yet another church, basically. Of which you have all of this as well. And you get all these buildings, but... well, beyond that, I'm not even meaning like that. What I'm meaning is, like... the fact that of the buildings that are guaranteed, right? The two functional buildings, which are the freezer and the bathhouse, are not guaranteed, but, like, these are. I mean, yes, they have great loot, but I don't need 5 of these. Of which I've already removed several, but it's just, like, it's that kind of thing that I mean. In a functional state, it really isn't for that. And I'm not saying functional, like, it has to be working. It just kind of, like... and heck, beyond that, builds like this, like what I've done on this side is, you know, you can see you would have the road here and then you would move on to whatever road it is there, but you have that nice thoroughfare through. So you see that you can go through. Here it's blocked by these, which honestly feel like they should go in between, kind of. And again, these even roads to go into odd roads, and then, yes, some cities do that, but honestly, once you get to, like, a city, it just tends to... you're not going to have... if you have odd roads, you're going to have odd roads. If you're going to have even, you're going to have the even. If you will. Because it's effectively a traffic amount. And honestly, that's what I think it really is. Like, this is effectively... you'd have one person on this side, and you'd have one person on this side, as that's what that would be for. And then that's why here you get the 2 and 2, but it's specifically separated in a similar way to this. You'd have the one space in between, so you're not running into each other. Which you can see, but then it's like it goes into places like this, where it's like, now we're going to just cram you all together like this. Because, yeah. It's things like that that bug me. Like, and as I said, like, a bridge that doesn't match the road and all those kinds of things, it just seems very... especially considering so much of it clearly is meant to be, like, put together in certain ways. It's things like that that I feel like are the issues. It's not that it's not functional, exactly. It's just more like... kind of... this city would never have necessarily been functional. I think is my actual issue, if you will. Do I have any lights on me? Yes, I do. So I can see. But yeah, that's more where I'm at. It's not the concept that it's like a ruin. That makes sense. Of course a ruin isn't gonna be, in the same functional state as, say, a current city, but it's more like the kinds of things that they chose to focus on to make sure that would be there. Like, I mean, you could technically say that obviously it's a college city, maybe, in that it's... how do I put this? Kind of designed more around, like, the different places, or perhaps some sort of other just research facility or whatever. I mean, you could go there, but like I said, the biggest issue is it's just not as a ruin. Focus on making sure you have houses, even. It's like, so where do these people live? I'll need to fix that. I just realized those are not that. That is wrong. And I'm going to pull it all the way down properly. Because I have some somewhere. Do I have any up here? I don't think I do, but I'm going to check anyway. But yeah. Otherwise, I think it would be fine. It's just, it's like... The idea is meant to be that it's was at one point a functional city. That's more where I'm at. Not that it is, because obviously it wouldn't be. I'm turning it into one, because I'm turning it into an RPG town. But, like... You would think at first that when you see, if I come over here, that obviously this is just like that, right? Falling down walls, but it's not. Like, I thought it was at first. I was like, But it's specifically designed, some of them are even specifically designed around that, if you find the right ones. That's how you come down, see? You have functional steps up and down, and 3. In other words, you get on and off like that. You get on a road of this width, and then you go into a building that's... Anyway, it's not that big a deal. It's just, it is very strange more than anything else. Heck, the fact that many of these builds are just kind of cut off. Like, they should be finished, but they're not. Ironically, this is also a good example of that. Because obviously they're trying to keep their pattern, or maybe it's not obvious, but that's what they're clearly trying to do, is they're trying to keep their pattern, but and I'm just going to change the pattern and everything, because, one, the pattern doesn't work anyway on the inside, so, yeah, and beyond that, this whole structure is 3 blocks too short. Like, why is that the back of the statue? And this just doesn't fit because it should be this here. And having the short and short on both sides, whereas it's not because, again, it's too short. They kind of hid it by doing like 2 on each side here, I believe is what it was. Effectively, yeah, like, well, I mean, they did somehow fix it on this side, but effectively, yeah. It's just a little bit too short. Alright, here, this is the one that's the mix-up. Little things like that to make sure it's right on the one side, but they didn't do the same on the other side, so it didn't work. Anyway, overall, it's just more frustrating to come in and like see this and that and just be like even if it's even if it's just not the prettiest thing ever, this would also not be structurally sound, even if it's Minecraft kind of thing. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to doing something, working on that, as I've said. I mean, and again, you just could kind of feel like this feels more like a plaza around the main road in, right? Rather than on this side, which is kind of... And the thing is, you can still have this like this. The thing that makes it feel more full is adding a couple blocks to the back. You know? But as I said, I honestly think the big thing is because they figured nobody would look at it during, like, actual light. And kind of beyond that, they really just didn't think about it. It's that whole... There's a missing quality control step that bugs me about so many Minecraft update builds, you know? Like, my stuff, I'm not claiming is good, right? I especially since I try to stick to kind of the style. Not that good. But I do try to at least keep it kind of in line and matching. And that's more than enough. Like, I could at least do that much. Or have just made things fit together, kind of. Actually, no, I need to put that there. I don't know. As I've said, I get it, and it's not. I'm obviously just missing some amazing thing because I feel like this looks better rather than what it would look like, which is one block shorter and one block thinner, so that it's not matching the road in and out of it, or even just walking. Because even if it's just off to the side, again, that's the thing with this that bugs me. Like, by cutting it here, right here, right? That's where it would normally be cut. To hide the fact that it would be even going into odds and out of odds. Functionally, that means people are getting knocked off. More likely than not, or not kind of like once it's gonna be anyway, not that important. Not that important. Alrighty. The real answer is don't think about it too hard, because otherwise you're going to notice everything, and it just becomes agonizing at that point. Hello, thank you for the first time chat, Soul Leader. How are you doing? I get the feeling that you're a fan of anime. Perhaps I'm wrong, though. Yeah, we're gonna leave that as that. Just tired. I went swimming today, and then went for a walk. So I have very strained legs. But it's not too bad. Overall, I feel okay, for the most part. Just tired. Alright, so this comes all the way to over there. But that's normal, you know? Like when you go swimming, that's just how that feels. But no strain, no gain. Alright, so I can see where it's at so that I can pull down here. Alright. And then we go down until we get down to that spot, but that does tell me kind of where I want that. Crap. I haven't decided what I want to do there, and until I do, it's gotta look okay. And that is how it goes. Alright, and then last one. So that I can put this in, like so. And just pull the ladders all the way down. As I said, part of why I'm doing this is because I want to add, well, beyond the fact that it just feels better for when you're going under these and walking over them. I mean, because obviously, like, with the current height, they don't feel all that bad. Like, they just feel like, kind of like, okay. But when you get to, like, under a lava lake, it looks really, but I don't want to do a lava lake, obviously, so it's just the height that I'm going to go for instead. So you're walking over and you'd have that underneath you. Beyond that, I want to add in a little town underneath, as I've said. I think that would be just super cool. To kind of have extra buildings down here, kind of thing. Because you've got people cramming in everywhere that they can find a little space, right? That's kind of the idea. And I think it works. Alright, but I'm going to need to build pillars now, I think. Or set up actual pillars down here to kind of keep this all straightened in. That's fine. That's not too big a deal. Anyway, I don't actually have to do those. I just realized. But I'm still gonna do it anyway. Oh, actually, there are pillars, kinda. I just don't like how they look. Because clearly you have it fully. Thank you. Oh, this is just like what I've got going on in the background, you know? I mean, I feel like my taste in music is a little more funky. But I do like that. It is nice. Alright. So what I'm thinking is, even though I've said it before, I'll say it again, I don't particularly care for it. I think the best option is to kind of... go with this a little. Because I feel like that'll look just more kind of imposing. Especially if we have these in the background. I'll continue it down, but... yeah, this is gonna go here. Alright. And then I'm gonna have to figure out how to do the other. Alright, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is, like... perhaps like so. But not holding... oh, ow. And then maybe what I'd want to do to the sides to really kind of fill in the rest of the way. So just kind of see what I want to do here. I mean, that's a cute pun. But if you're actually asking as a question, no. Alright. Because ladder and ladder, obviously, I mean, they sound similar, but they obviously aren't actually the same. And that is why I am making the distinction. Alright, and like I said, this is going to come out like that, all the way down. Sure. Alright. Yeah, so we're gonna pull this out like so, as I said. This is gonna come all the way down here, as you can see I've done there. And this will just come in and fill. Well, and like that. 'Cause that's what I did, right? Yeah. But then, as you can see, I think I'm going to do that, and then we'll have these nice little sections in the middle as well, and I just kind of like it. Let me go get more stuff. And then eventually it will go, once we get to like here, I'm going to have it go down a little bit more, I think, after this point. And kind of, because of where this is, have it kind of flowing out in a way. As a bit of a sewer, but it's an I mean, yeah, it is kind of. But that's the design. Whether it be flawed or not, I don't know, but that's the design. And this eventually has to go, but I'm still leaving it as long as possible because it really does make my point for me. I'm not saying like these builds would... And that's why I always feel like I need to specify that, because it's just like... I'm not saying I'm a good builder, I'm just saying... It frustrates me. And maybe it shouldn't. At some point, I should probably try to set up an area in the nether for those frog lights. You know? Alright. I'm gonna grab this. Gonna grab this. I'm gonna do that. Which, obviously, at that point, well, not obviously, bleh. Why do I always say obviously? It's not obvious. But at that point, well, I'll be able to get a whole bunch of the basalt blocks, but beyond that, I'm probably want to clear out an area just for that specifically, and try to see if I can't, set up that. Because it's not too hard, I think. Other than how many things seem to spawn, kinda. And the thing is, I'm not sure if it's because it's like whatever the supposed smallest was it chunk size? I don't remember. All I remember is that this is not it. Alright, we're gonna move this to get out the hoe. So, heal up my pickaxe, and then pull this out. Well, alright. There we go. I just kind of continue because we want to finish the wall. I clicked on the wrong block, maybe, or it just did what it's been doing a lot of lately. Which is entirely possible because it has been a bugger. With the whole everything. Alright, so that's there. This would go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this would be... Right? That's kind of what it is. Or no, it's longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that would be there. 1, 2, there. Kind of like that. Then that would go there. Not sure what you mean. Probably better to just put the other here. I'm being honest, I'm not sure what you mean. Alright. Me pull these out. So what I'm thinking is that, or maybe not these, maybe I want, nope, I have no idea what you're talking about. And that would be like that, so that that kind of just pulls in and it stops in a nice way. Yeah. Let's get some of this out. There we go. And I do want to have a little bit of something. I just don't know what I want to do. Alright. Other than, I do think it will look good to just dot and then bop. And have that line there. And then here, for the sake of just kind of the way this looks here, have that like that. I have that on the other side as well. Kind of puts it together nicely. I just realized what I just did. I think, what else do I want to do kind of with it? Just gonna go put this in the box. And I'll come back for my other blocks. Alrighty, but you can kind of see, like, that little bit of change, and if I add the rest of it in, I think it will fit well. It hasn't even taken a lot to really kind of already make it feel a little bit more imposing, if you will. Which I like. And yeah, like I said, you got this in here like that. Probably gonna do is follow this. Like so. That way we can just have that come all the way back in a way that looks okay. I mean, you're not going to see beyond this point anyway, because this... Actually... And then that has that nice and interesting little connection there to the wall. Yeah. Here. Like so. Oh. Really? Impressive. I did nothing. I got one hit in. And then he killed himself. Alright, I do think I would want to put... maybe that there? No. Not really. I mean... cats certainly have a good... but they got their own downsides, you know? It's... a little more... yeah, I was gonna remove this. I haven't removed it yet. I am gonna remove this, I think. As you can see, but I don't have room. But that's probably the next thing to do as well. It's just, it's time. It's gotta go. And this isn't even like about progress or that kind of thing or whatever. It's just, unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Alright. There we go. So we just remove this like so and around. So I do need to eventually put this all together. Like so. I mean, there. There forms a glow squid. So I think it'll just kind of... and the biggest thing I'm trying to do with this is well, beyond the fact that this is just kind of... effectively now at the... I can't save you, squid. Alright. Oh, sorry, buddy. Moving that all the way down. I'm gonna have to remove the rest of that in there, but yeah, we just don't need this because we don't want to have messes. Alright. Glowing ink does a couple different things. Well, it does all of one thing. It makes, well, two things. It makes letters shine on signs, or make them sparkly, rather, I guess, kinda. And the thing. Oh yeah, it makes glow item frames. That's what it is. Why can't I think of that? That's the two things it does. Alrighty. Which, I mean, they could have done other stuff with it. But I'm just gonna be attempting not to be too negative. Alright, I need to add... alright. Let's just clear this. There. And that comes out to here. I'm thinking. I think that could do what we would want potentially. Let me go get some stairs and see if this looks okay. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to fall. Now I have to go back up and around. I'm trying to decide how to do this because it's a little... It's a little much. And then I need to decide, do I want to go and get a different type of stair type there? And so I kind of like the idea of this just being like that. Because it just kind of fits the style and vibe. Oh, everything else here, so this just gets pulled out on this side by 1. Alright. So... And let me pull this out a second. I mean, yes, that's how that is there. You can see kind of, but I don't know. Does this look... I guess it kind of looks a little funky. But maybe like that. And it could even have one last one at the top here. Let's see, because I'm trying to decide with the design on the side, you know? And then I think I'm going to get some more, or get some stairs of this kind and then mix that in as well. I do think that does look nice. This goes 1, 2, up, 1, 2, and then the last one's up. There, like so. And then this can have the same stairs, right? I know this is pulling it in a little bit. I don't know. And then like that. Yeah. It just kind of looks interesting. I mean, maybe it's not perfect by any means, but it kind of helps with the flow just a little bit. Although I should add in some lighting as well. Because... Huh? I'm just trying to figure out how to do this, man. I guess like that. So that just kind of goes out like that. And then with the water, like I said, it's going to kind of start going down again here, and it'll go through. I'm thinking. I just have to figure out how to match and mix, or mix and match, blah. All the different things. But then that can kind of match there. And potentially around this part because of the nature of what I'm doing here. Yeah. And then I need lighting. I guess maybe I could do the candles again, but I think we're gonna have a little bit more kinda. I'd put one there as well if I had another one, but just to pull you in. Because as I said, the whole idea that what I'm going with is that since this would be the current main entrance to the city at this point, I want this to be the view that you kind of get, that it just, as you come into the city, it just like on the other side over there. It's the same kind of vibes. Just maybe magical's not the right word. Like, I'm trying to think of what the right word would be. Not really terrifying either. Like, it's not that scary, but alright. We'll use one crack there. And then we'll make a couple more of these. Zombie! Where did you come from? You know, that's the thing that bothers me most about this place. I don't need that. Where did he come from? Like, this is an issue I've had. And the thing is, like, there's nothing that he should have been able to spawn and fall and survive, right? Because I've made sure... even over there, there's not, like, anything. And yet, it's just... yeah. I don't know. It's super weird. I'm gonna have to light up everything whenever I'm done at the top. Which I think would still look pretty good, because it kind of would match with the whole vibe of just... the nature of the city and all that, but still, it's just weird. Beyond that, though, as I said, a viewpoint. This is kind of just... let me finish making these now. There, and then you have one. Yeah. I really don't like how those look. I might change them up. I mean, not just having the thing up there that's like that, but... I don't know. I feel like it's too kind of squarish. I think I did the same thing over there before I completely changed it. But I'm gonna need more stairs eventually, but like kind of by doing that like that. Also, eventually I'll get the other one, but just to see kind of how this looks instead. Alright. Up here. in there. So that would go through like that. I don't think it's perfect, but I want to see kind of how that looks. I think I've got it like that over there, or had it over there like that, but I'm just not sure. Yeah, see, it kind of looks a little better. Because it helps soften it just that little bit. And it didn't even take that much, and I would probably want them to instead be the same as that, just to kind of fully match that arch at the top. Kinda. You know? I mean, maybe you don't see it. Like, you don't have to see it. I just... How did I do this? I guess it is just like this, and then you put that in there, and then you put the one up there. Here. Crap. Ow. Because of course I did pick it up, but, yeah, but you see, this is like nothing. It's like, there's no reason for ladders or anything. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just... Alright. I think I gotta go make a bunch more stairs and maybe some slabs, and I do. I kind of like the shape a little better that way, because it just kind of smooths everything out a little. In a nice way. And the only reason I don't want to go with those types is it just doesn't look right, but I don't think. Like I said, I think that this is kind of what I started thinking of. Yeah, you could see kind of, but I didn't end up going all the way. But ideally, I think that would be more along what I'd be looking for. Ironically. Alright, I'm gonna put that up there. I'm gonna trade this with this, and then this. Alright. I'm gonna need more food soon. I think I have more food. I think I have more food. I should probably double check. I think I dumped some in somewhere. Maybe back there. I'm gonna have to check. It's gonna be bad. Alright, so for this one, stairs. For this one, slabs. I suppose I already had some slabs. But you know what? It's fine. I often need more. For what I think is obvious reasons. But, you know, maybe it's not. I mean, that one, just because everywhere. Alright, so what I want to know is if instead of having that, it was that. Does that look better? It looks okay. I just feel like I'm missing something, but I don't know what. I kind of do, but I don't really want to do it because I feel like it'd be a pain to do, but I feel like the arch is too not enough. But, I mean, for what it is, it's okay, and it does a good job. Yeah, I kind of do like this, but, but I do think this is just kind of, especially if I add anything else in. Like so. Yeah, I just think that looks a little bit less than what I want to do, I think, as well. Here. Potentially. Let me just see. How does this look? Yeah, I kind of like that. It helps a lot to just do that. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I just, yeah. Alright, let me... completely get this all up and running here. So... Alright. So this goes here, but has this line like this. I'm realizing... Alright. I could put the one bit in afterward, but I'll come back in a minute, but yeah, I think if we pull this all the way to at the very least here. So and then like, where does it go to? I guess it goes down there. Yeah. Alright, and then we come down here to pick up the blocks and then put them in the places they need to go. So that it matches. But then I'm going to have to make a decision here on how to handle that, but that's going to be a different issue. Like there, yeah, you could feel the difference kind of even in here, just kind of... Let me just feel like that. And then the same thing on the opposite side, and that'll just kind of... I'm almost out of blocks. Luckily, downstairs is just below. Alright. But that does feel good walking through it. And then the look from back here is quite nice as well. Or maybe not nice, but it does lend itself a little bit better to it. I suppose would be a better answer. Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but like for a main walkway especially, I didn't, it just, it was so lumpy feeling. I just, It still feels lumpy, mind you. It does still feel lumpy and kind of like, but at least it's slightly less lumpy. That is my answer. I mean, technically I could just do, like, probably not, but something. Let me go, I guess, gather more blocks. Ow. So that we can really kind of see how this looks down here. I haven't decided yet how I want to handle most of it, but I do think I want to kind of just... Because I already had... or did I not? Anyway, yeah. So we can kind of see how this will look, just enough to be like, huh. Or does it need to go deeper as well? Because like, if it needs to go deeper, I need to know that as well, because... yeah. I mean, I don't think it will, but just the sheer size feeling underneath, I do want to know. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty deep. It does feel nice. And again, it just kind of adds in that little extra, as you look down and just kind of, not a lot. But a little bit. And mind you, I'm going to probably switch out the sides for just going all the way down with these. Because I do... yeah. I need to put those away. For the moment, because I'm not working on this project right now. They go in there. Alright, and then in here... oh, there's my torch chops. I knew I had more. We'll put this in here for now, though. I was like, where are they? Alright, go just turn half of this into... Thank you. This. We can finish building up the rest of these, because you can see this goes here and here. Yeah. I don't know. I do, like I said, I don't think it's bad. I think it'll look pretty good when it's done. Hopefully. I'm hoping. There's a decent chance it won't. But I need to put this here, because that'll go there, and then I need the basalt. Wait, actually, this goes here anyway, so it's fine. Because this gets filled up all the way, that's what it is. Alright, because I am sticking to, I think, design-wise, the sides, because I think that just kind of, especially if I go all the way down, I think that'll look cool. And I'm going to need more basalt, I think, because I might do the same thing on the other side as I did on that side. And just dig in and all that, but we'll see. Cute. Yeah, like we're going all the way down. I'm going to put these like this for now. Alright, yeah. And then, do you have this? Like that there. And I actually have the ability now to just make a couple of these. There we go, again. Was it? There we go. I mean, this is going to be a little bit longer than all the others, but I think it'll be okay, or the other two, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll look decent. Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah. But yeah, I do think this will come all the way down, and then, like I said, you're gonna have little places people have scrolled into here, even though it's a sewer. Ah. Oh, okay. If you will. Because there's room there. Space. Unfortunately, there's a certain level of realism to this RPG-esque world. Because it's the word esque. Alright, what I'm thinking I want to do... I know this is at negative 56. Whereas down there, I need to know how deep it is. 54. So it is deeper, but still not quite deep enough. Alright, I'm gonna have a light up here. And then I dig down the light here for now. And I'm gonna have to like go up and down, but it'll be fine. Alright. So that's that there, and I'm thinking from here onwards it goes down one, like every single time until it hits it. I just realized what I just did. In my brilliance. But then, once we hit that... Oh no, I didn't have that issue. I thought I did, but I didn't. Right. But basically, it'll go the rest of the way down and kind of under, and then it'll imply that it's just kind of flowing out beyond the wall to something over here. But who knows what, you know? Who knows what? Because never seen. I'll probably, like, grade it off no less. The same thing here is gonna probably... Cause I do think that'll be fine to leave like that, because they're not too tall, right? Or rather, these don't feel like they're bridgy in the way that those kind of do, because it goes up, and then you'd have that, and then it just flows under, and who knows from where. Same idea. You just don't see. So it'll probably be here that'll have the gap, right? Or rather, the difference is because of how low this is, I can make it a little, rather, how high everything else here is, I can make it a little bit less. I don't have to go down here. So what we can do is we can just take this here like so. Because, yeah. And then, this the other side. Coming all the way down, mind you. As this is the bottom. And that goes there, like so. There we go. Oh, I just did the wrong one. It's fine. Alright. This go here, this go here. It's not perfect. There we go, like so. And then I'll probably do an effect or something to kind of try to make it look a little less... And I would make it less square looking, but I want to add in metal bars. That's why it's not getting that. Despite the fact that I think they'd look better to do the stairs, to do like this and this and then this and this. That would look way better. Not by much, but... Or rather, just doing that. Actually, you know what? It looks fine like it is. No. What it would be with these. That's what I need. Yeah. Kinda. There, and then have this here and here be like this. Yeah, that's what it is. Or even just like that. That would be a lot better. You can see that's what I meant, yeah. But unfortunately, I cannot do that because Or maybe it can. Maybe it doesn't have the bars coming from the top, but from the bottom. Because I do prefer, sec. I do prefer that look, especially as you're coming down and around or walking through. I do think that looks pretty nice. Let's cross the bridge. You've got that there. Yeah, you know what? We'll leave it as is. Like that, and they'll just have the bars along the bottom. And then thinking like so, but obviously we're below. Kind of like that. Take that far back. Because I don't want to actually build the sewers. I just kind of... want to have that. And then everything else is going to kind of probably be black. Maybe. I need to... well, probably eat. Nope. I need to chop the rotten flesh that I don't need. That is what I need to do. Yeah. And, well, this will be up high enough that the bars are fine. From here on out, we're gonna have a bunch of slabs. Just to really kind of hammer home that whole vibe. I should probably go make more slabs and stuff just because, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't look good, but... alright. Yeah. We'll see. Alright, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna make more of those because I clearly need them, and of those, I'm going to take that and I'm going to make the slabs. Extra slabs. There. And we can just continue that. As long as it doesn't mess with this stuff, I think it'll be fine as it is. And it clearly won't, because it was already kind of low. And to the ground, and then make it a little bit lower. And I am purposefully here, making it darker. Like that, kinda. Let me see, how much does this one have? 1, 2, 3. Alright, well I can't, while I'm doing this, I need to be able to see, so... Alright, I mean, it looks pretty kind of like that, but it's not gonna be that now, is it? It's gonna be dark. Nothing's gonna be visible. Because that's the idea. Alrighty. Just realize I'm having issues with my internet. Hopefully they haven't been too bad. Also, I don't need to dig this out at all, you know? But I just kind of wanna. Alright. And then we do this here. So it kind of matches. Yeah, it's fine. It hasn't been too much. I just looked over and I realized there has been some. I was just letting you guys know, if you're having issues, it is me. There's a high chance it is me. That's all. Alright, and then we go down another one. Oh, and that's Bedrock. Okay. Well, I knew it was pretty close. Yep, exactly. Alright, so this would be the final layer. Because obviously that's not going to work to have Bedrock, but that's kind of fine. We don't need it to show. Like, once I've thrown all these in... Alright. Yeah. All the way down to there. Once you remove the light, it'll not really show, so it won't matter, but... Because, like... Or do I want to do... You know what? No. I mean, this looks okay, but I don't think it's going to do what I need it to do. I mean, that there can be that, but... I'm thinking... The walls are like that. Alright. There. Let's see if we can't make ourselves some... Oh gosh. Yeah. That was... Minus 2 of them. There we go. Make there be room and all that. That is 1, 2, 3, and the other, so... Yeah, I mean, I'm at the end anyway, so it's fine. Alright. There we go. And since that's 1, 2, 3. Alright, 2, 3. Yeah. This goes here. And the end of the line is going to have to go here. And then I'm going to have to decide what I'm going to do for the back to kind of just hide the fact that it's... Yeah, that's where it ends. But I mean, that shouldn't be too bad. And technically what I could do is I could just keep going down anyway, but then I don't do any, like, floor. Because, you know, cheating. Because you're never going to see this anyway. Because you're not going to get the sewer dungeon. I know it would be normal, but instead you're going to get, like, the mineshaft stuff instead. So, yeah, I think that this would just kind of... I need to figure out where it would taper off at, probably, and then just... Gotta do that. But that's the end and bottom, because I can't go below bedrock. Not really. Although at this point you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell, so technically I think what I would do here, because it's far enough in, kind of get that look. Instead you can just do 2, right? But see, this is as high as you're going to see in here, and like this. I mean, although weirdly enough, it's lit up. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure it out. But that's all there really is to it. That's it. That's gonna be the sewer on that side. No, because this is the ancient city. And beyond that, I've got it so that it's gonna be all half slabs down there. Or stairs, which they can't spawn on. So I've doubly made sure that they cannot interfere, if you will. Yeah, I'm just gonna put away the two things I don't want, which are these. And then I'm gonna just turn these all into these. But yeah, I've done it twofold. Plus, these are gonna be submerged in water. So there is that. I went too far. And then the question's gonna become, what do I do on the other side? Because I do like the idea of kind of just having it all be this deep. But I don't know if I want to do the work that, well, I mean, not that I wouldn't want to do the work, but more like, how do I put this? Right, and then that just is 4. See, I mean, it works. And then kind of gonna do 2 like that. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't even know if I have enough room. If I did this like this, would it look too much from the road? Other than obviously the whole... Not necessarily. But yeah. I think I need a black background. And then from there... I can do something with that, but... I'm gonna probably go ahead and get maybe black terracotta. There we go. Let me just fill this in. So... Get this out. Although I might do like this back here. You're not going to necessarily know. And that'll help. This be black enough? Actually, that's a question to have. Would this be dark enough back here that if you don't have light, it would look okay? I expect the answer is no, but I do want to know, kind of. Well, I mean, it's not bad like that. It's enough to trick your eyes. I mean, that works that way. And then this being the walls. Like so. And just fill it all the way in, right? I could add like all sorts of little details, but the fact is you're not really going in there or looking up close, right? So I think it works. Probably. Yeah, I just thought it's probably. Yeah. You know what? It's fine. But yeah, that's part of it. There. There we go. And just probably do the same thing. I might even kind of pull this back here as well and just kind of... it does kind of help darken. Alright. There you go. There we go. Then we go all the way over, and then eventually we just kind of... yeah. Like so. Yep, and then that goes up there. Like so. And there. And we just fill it in. Like so. Alright, and then all the way down. Right? Yeah. That. And then here. Almost done. Well, it works to be like that and then be like, okay. Alright, and then just remove that. Alright. Yeah, and then that's just it. It looks okay, I think. I could probably add in something like, I don't know. What the heck? Sorry. No. What? No. Yeah, we just alright, I can even throw in like I really can't, but if you go here, I go here. Boop, boop. And then there and there. Kind of create a little hello, Snow. How you doing? Give me a second, I'll do the spinning. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That hurt. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. As you can see, I'm working on the river part that I wanted to kind of throw in here, sewer. I don't know if it's a river or sewer, I haven't decided yet. I still haven't decided. I mean, it probably makes more sense as a sewer, but still. Alright, it's fine. Yeah. What I'm trying to decide is I put one here. that would work, kinda. And then we again remove and remove. And there and there. 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 Just to kind of really create that look there. And like I said, you're not actually going to go in there now, are ya? But for that to be the end, I think that's a pretty good, I mean, the thing here. To have that be like that. Although it's going down again, which looks odd. Maybe it is a river and has, like, water falling from above. Could be cool. And then it's used to kind of, like, swab the water both ways. What do you think? Maybe that? So it wasn't gonna... I mean, although technically it kind of... It's mostly meant to kind of just look... But yeah, I don't know. So it's gonna go down both ways. Which doesn't really make sense, fantasy world or not. I don't know about that. Yeah, I like that a little better. Looks a little bit nicer that way. But yeah. And then, of course, we have these here that I can... Actually, I should do is I should just make these all into this. Like that. Alright. Let's work like that. Odd. But I guess it's supposed to be like broken. Maybe. Then this one would be the way. There's just no way down there. Huh. I don't know. But like maybe if the water that could be a good way to actually do that. It would be just to have yeah. Not thinking about it. Because then that's why people don't feel... Well, I mean, they probably would still be there anyway, but they don't feel that it's just like, it's thriving down there and they aren't being gotten rid of kind of thing, right? Despite the fact that they're definitely not in this healthy place. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna go with, is kind of just this vibe of this there. This, yeah. I mean, they're underground. You get water flowing in random places, right? It actually does... Oh, I need to eat. And I don't have food on me because that food is sitting in the chest. Let me go get the food. I should light that up. That's probably having mob spawn. I mean, not... There we go. I think it's starting to kind of come together beyond anything else, because there's just a certain amount of vibe. Glowstone? I don't know. I mean, Glowstone could maybe do something, but thank you. I think keeping it to lanterns and torches, well, and then like kind of just torches, candles, and all those, or it helps kind of keep everything feel close together, even though obviously it's not. Because think about it. This city, this street over here, right? I mean, that's part of how I'm keeping kind of that closeness without it being too in your way or out there, is by adding these little lanterns here. It keeps the area really well lit, you can see that. But it pulls, like, the two together, if you will. So it feels kind of held together. That's part of why I'm doing... Maybe, but that would only be in certain places and probably only in the newer part of the city. Something like that in the middle of this doesn't really fit well with the kind of story I think they kind of went with, and I am going with, though. If we figure that this is not only just the main street, but also the way leading into the main temple, right? This area is meant to be kept very... which, I mean, again, like, you have the candles here, and you have soul lanterns, and I probably will switch these out for candles down here. Potentially, just to kind of fit with everything, but for now I just have them lit up like that. But you would want it to kind of match those kind of vibes over here. That's why I think down below you'd have maybe a lantern or candles or whatever. But you're not going to have something that kind of goes against the vibe. Because remember, the warden is blind, right? And if you're going to go with the kind of concept that is their guardian, because that's kind of where I'm going with this, if you will, because I feel like it does make sense to assume that it would be their guardian, if you will. So instead, what I'm kind of doing is trying to keep it very... Like, I might do something lava encased, but that's more likely to go in the nether, because I feel like that would make a lot more sense in a nether type town slash city, since lava is everywhere. Yes, you have a lot of lava down here, but it's not really in the same kind of just... People live and breathe it, if you will. So I think that's the biggest difference, I would argue, between the nether versus someplace like this. Yes, they both have lava, but the people here probably... Kinda. But basically, so you'd want to go with quiet appearances, da-da-da, simple things. Like I said, maybe candles... Since I do think that would work to fit in with the vibes, if you will. Yeah. And I do need more of the polish. I just need more the salt I can either go make a basalt generator or, well, I mean, you know. Eventually I'm going to need a froglet farm, so I might as well start clearing that out some, but I just don't want to deal with it right now. But yeah, like, I mean, it's the same reason why I'm kind of trying to move these to where they are. It allows for just a feeling of as you're walking through, right? Oh, you could take a road off, but it's not. Hello, Saranoni, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. But see, I've already changed this to look more, just kind of feel... vibe isn't the right word. I mean, it kind of is, but I think that that'll help as well. Stylistically, because... yeah. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. It goes okay. I don't know if you've been here, but did you know that that building is wrong as well? So many wrong buildings. So many bad buildings. No. But beyond that, I mean... I'm gonna hurt you. I've hurt everybody else. I'm gonna... look at the top left corner of the screen. That's how it goes. Here, I can find a better background to really and truly show the agony. Soul Network? Yes. There. Kinda. Look at the soul lantern. I mean, but it really isn't. If you think about the fact that still basically... I'm effectively looking at the fact that 20% of my health is technically not there, or technically there, maybe? It is largely similar. My issue is my hearts. That's how it's going. It's a bug that showed up in the last mini update that I think they said they fixed, but it clearly is not fixed. Yeah. I mean, old Bedrock. I love the game, but I can't deny. I mean, overall, no, you don't really get a whole... yeah. Never refills. But beyond that, yes, this is the same on, like, for this one, this painfulness. I realized it a couple streams ago, but... so, the building is an odd... or rather, the outside building is an odd-numbered building, like, unnumbered blocks, right? But this statue... to agonize... is an even-numbered statue. They did an even number of blocks on this statue. And a building that's not an even-numbered building, so it just looks wrong. As you can see here, the 3 versus the 2 on the other side. I'm eventually going to fix it. Not in the way that they'd want me to, but you know. And then the back has no back. Like, and this is on both versions. I checked. Because I was like, maybe it's just a Bedrock thing. I think the thing that bugs me the most is just like, how did this get through quality control on both versions of the game? Not just on Bedrock, but on Java too. And the only answer I have is because basically everybody was so focused on the warden and everything that nobody focused on the fact that the structure is off. And they're never going to fix it because they don't care. Heck, I mean... just look what they did with the trail chambers when somebody started just going, Like, there's a whole bunch of structures like that, but it doesn't feel good. That's my big thing, is it's like, so many of these buildings, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. And if they're trying to argue human nature, no. The human nature thing would be that they would work hard to fix it. The mouth might be a little lopsided or whatever, but they'd make sure that at least the the outside structure part, the part they're going to more likely notice, was right. And it actually does, like, I like, if you aren't thinking about it, it doesn't look bad, but if you start looking at it, once you've noticed, it's a subtle difference, but it's just kind of not right. It does feel off. Because this is an odd-numbered road going into it. Also, this odd-numbered road has even-number pathways off of it, which then would lead into odd-numbered roads. It's very strange. You can see here, kind of. I mean, technically, I'll give them the fact that it's technically 2 even roads, but they did it as a 5 across. And then you run into the pillar. Yeah, it's supposed to be a warden. All of the statuary is wardens, but I honestly think, much like with what I did kind of with the bridge, I think that they could have made it like 1 block taller potentially and 1 block thinner. Or heck, they could have made it a couple blocks taller. I mean, and then 1 block thinner. But like I said, that's what I did over there. 1 block taller, 1 block thinner. Technically, I didn't even have to make it the taller. It wouldn't have looked bad. It would have been a little bit more stretched, but I was just like, you know what, we're going to keep it kind of the same. But it's those kinds of decisions, like, I feel like they're like, well, but the warden is an even-numbered... You know, that's what I bet you it is. Because the warden is an even-number pixels, I believe, across, right? Effectively. To make it warden-like, they're doing the whole 2, or even. Making it even. But the problem is, it doesn't really work, for 1, and for 2, when you get up to the size like that, even pixels / blocks doesn't matter. Not really. You're not going to notice that, or think too hard about it. In fact, I mean, the people in question are going to, because it's not going to be like that, you know? Like, if you're going to go for the lore of the game. And it just, yeah, I don't know. Like, if I'm going really and just, like, looking at it, I am left kind of with, it's not the end of the world, I guess, technically, but it is very frustrating when you start looking around and kind of looking at, like, okay, so this building's off and that building's off. And as I've said, like, I don't know, like, and I need to stop this because I already ranted about this earlier, but yes, this build looks cool. You don't need 5 of them because this is clearly some form of church to the warden. Especially since this is also clearly some form of church or stage for the warden. And that straight up is a giant shrine to the warden in the middle of the city. You don't need, like, a bazillion different ones. I think that's where I'm at, is it's just too much. Beyond anything else. Because it doesn't have to be that much. Sure. Alright. Alright. I was making a stack, so that's what I'm doing. No, thank you. That's not as good as you might think. I wasn't kidding earlier when I said I did a lot of exercise. No, here's what I'm gonna do. I think I want to do that there. Or maybe I want to. Yeah, no, it just comes across. I'm just doing this like this for now. I'll change it up later, but this is gonna just kind of come all the way down like that. And then now that this is gonna be like this, I can probably add in... Or maybe not. So, doing that there. But I do think this does kind of, do you think I want to... Here. Actually. I wonder how many blocks it's actually going to be. Because that's pretty perfect on this one, so just kind of get the vibes. There we go, and there. Oh, wow. And then we go here, right? Like so. And much like the other one. Side just to kind of match that, so I can see how it looks. I'm thinking... No, that doesn't really work. Too chunky. Oh, but this could technically work, I guess. Just try to decide what I would want to do to kind of get that. Nah, I think it's okay as it is. Again, it's a little square, but it'll do. That way we kind of just pull this across like so. We're finally down here. Yeah, the last little bit of this. And obviously I'm going to need more of that on the other side as well, but just to kind of get the look, I do think that looks nice. Because it feels like it's a little bit of a... welcome back. As you've been gone, I worked on some of this stuff. And now we got a little bit of look here. It just looks good. There we go. Here as well. Fill that in. So. And just kind of give that on this side, it's going to be flat across, whereas on this side, it's going to be in the block, or out of block. I did think about doing the out of block one, but I don't think it would look right. So that's why I'm doing it like that. Yeah, I do have reasoning. Does it trust me? It could look okay. I mean, it is partially that it could just look okay, but check a bunch of this down a second. I can pick that up. But yeah, it's starting to look a lot less. Well, let's go from the one that it would be really seen from, which is this one. I mean, it feels more like there's a reason to have a bridge here now. And a ladder of any kind. Like I said, I think what I'm gonna do, I really will just like bring water in from the top, I think, and pouring down and then like falling to both sides. Because I think that's gonna be the best bet. Really and truly. Let's just dig this out a wee bit more, just to have that really kind of be able to show and kind of pop. And then, yeah, from there I'll probably want to kind of even potentially for the floor. Let me hold this out here a second. I clearly need more stairs, but what we would do here. Let me just see how this looks. Alright, and then I'm probably gonna go destroy a bunch of stuff. There we go. And obviously that's like that because that's going to be a grate on the bottom because I can't put one on the top because of course they can't connect to stairs because of course they can't. Yeah, that's something I'm surprised they haven't done. You know? Like, I understand the slab thing, kind of. Not really, I don't understand it at all. But, like, I'm surprised that they haven't made where you can connect iron bars to stairs and kind of just, like, mix that together. Up and down. I don't know, and that doesn't really work because that's like that. I don't know. Because what I would say I should do is like put that there and then put that there. And that would make a nice, or maybe what I do, oh, I got an idea. Because I think that would look really good. I know what to do. I know what to do. Let's change these out a second. To this a second. Instead, we can refill this in because it's fine. Oops. refill this in. Because that's just too low. Because we want to work with that, right? So what we'll do is put it there. Well, it's still not gonna look right, or it won't be able to like flip, but we'll have just. Oh, I know. I know. I know what to do here. All right. What we're gonna do here is we're just gonna put this like this down below. And then that'll be where the grates come up, right? That just looks really, really kind of good. And then this doesn't have to be quite so low, I guess, because this goes, whether this goes here, right? Yeah. And then we could just fill this in here like that for the moment. I'll go get more, but that way that's like that, kinda. And then I can just remove these because these won't show anymore and I can use them elsewhere. Happy days. So the water flows down and then flows into either this side or the other side. Yeah. Or is it too much? I don't know. You'll have to tell me. Alright, I just messed that up, but that's fine. Alright. Fill these in. Yeah. And then these go here. Because generally, unless you have the other, you don't really have any. And then the stairs can go on top of that. Yeah. I'm thinking that's kind of how it's going to look. With these going on the inside. I'm just collecting this while I'm here, because, you know, if you've seen my other series and how that's been going, you understand exactly why I need these, probably. Alright, eventually I probably will dig this back out, because this is going to be a... probably somebody would be living here. Hidden underground, if you will. For now, it comes down to here. Like so. Yeah. Like I said, maybe it's too much. I don't know, but I kind of like it. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That pretty is. And especially once I add in the water, like, not really a place to live, but comfortably. But you know, I mean, can make do. See the idea in a place so overcrowded, which is probably like the opposite of like what you would think, where I'm like a very hidden away place. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't. Right. And like I said, I do think I'm gonna put the water flowing down from up above, like from a place. I don't know what it would be exactly, but potentially just from up above, and then it's just yeah, it's going different places. All right, now we go all the way to here, like so. And then on the other side as well. Nice. Let me fill these in as well. Doing the same kind of vibe. Fill that in. There we go. Honestly, it looks pretty put together. In a way that I wasn't necessarily expecting. Alright. And then we just gotta go forward, and then eventually you gotta dig in and do all that as well again, right? And then what I really need to do is I just need to dig all of this out so I can get all that done. Yeah. And just kind of, yeah. I mean, but we're almost there anyway, so it's fine. And I should probably put a lot of this back into the crate or the chests again. And we can kind of see where we at. In terms of how far we are. So as you walk across, that's I mean, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I think it's pretty cool feeling all the way up there. And it really feels like you're super, well, I mean, you are super high up, but in comparison then, but like towering above. Where are we at? Alright. So I do think it works. Maybe. Thanks. Well, I mean, I just was trying to think of a reason for it to be kind of so high up. You know? I mean, that is what I ended up landing on, isn't it? Or why you'd have the ladders. Because you don't necessarily need them. By everything else, but by doing it like this, it kind of does work. To pretend that it's the idea would be kind of like just several people, obviously at some point, built this up, but it's like not now. No, it's just there. Nobody even thinks twice about. Kind of thing. And I mean, that's part of what really works about it, is it just kind of gives a view. Have I just messed that up? There, have I doing that? I did that, and I didn't do that. And then we put that there. Like so. It just kind of, yeah. Come on, work. Come on, shift click. Fine. I have it. There we go. And that way we can come in here a second, because that was messed up, but yeah. And again, I mean, I could put some, like, I'll probably put some lights down here. And yeah, one thing you can do on Bedrock that you can't do on Java here. 1 second. Let's just do 3 here. And then we put those there. For example, so you'll have that just lit up down below. I'll put the next one kind of here. Here. Like that, and we'll just do that again. And just have that be lit a little bit here and there. Let's do here. That's about as close as I'm gonna get to the thingy. Yeah. It should be pretty perfect, because then this is effectively dark enough that you can't see in and back. And you have little shadows here and there. Like, I should probably put this a little bit further. So it feels like there's a shadow underneath this, even though there's not. What do you think of that? I don't really need a crow's nest. I kind of have one there too. Weird, huh? That's not perfect. I could make it a little better, but like just kind of have a little bit of darkness so it feels like the light's coming from above, maybe. Or you can have like a light here and here. Actually, just by doing them there. And then you would have just kind of a little bit of... So obviously the shadow's not gonna... You can't... The light up there is not really gonna come down and show like the way, but if you kind of have a little bit underneath to kind of just light up a little, and then have a little, you can do something like that. It's fun. I mean, but again, that's kind of a Bedrock only thing because it's not like on Java. They don't let the light through, which I think is a shame because I think it's a pretty neat well beyond like just it's really neat. It's also kind of weird because like on both Bedrock and Java, you can have a light behind a stair, and you'll have the light shine through, but you can't on Java have it under a slab. It just kind of gives a vibe. It really feels very nice and lit. And I can also probably like I said, if what we do is we just go in like let's say we build a little like that. I don't want to do something too big, but there we have a little house kind of in the side here, right? And then you can even, if we just kind of have this here, right? And then have that there for now. I'm gonna do something a little bit better later, but and then we dig up. Kind of here, right? There. And then you can have here kind of the same. And then I should probably get some candles, and I do have some. And then obviously I can't go any higher than this, but like kind of maybe like that. Then you come out here and it's just got this very wait, I did that wrong slightly. So I thought it was the side here, but it's I see what I did. Yeah. No, I know what to do. Yeah. We're just at the right angle to kind of see that as well. So you have that, and then you can even go up top. Having a little occasional, like, little... And I probably would want to put in something like tinted glass, which I can do, but... Maybe I don't want to do one on the bottom. Maybe it's just the door. Maybe it's the door on the bottom, and then you have the little thing up top, and it just kind of... Potentially two-person house kind of thing. Or even just one person. Kind of... It's tiny, but it works, right? To kind of have a teeny tiny little place to be. But not everywhere. Like some of them I don't think I would do that with, heck, you can even kind of go into the wall a little bit because there's not really, you're not going to have anything show down here. Or you could just create a little bit of an indent here. Like that. And do the same on the other side probably. Again, just not actually on the wall. And then that's like that. And that's like that. There we go. Kind of a little cozy place, right? But like I said, I kind of like the idea of having little places here and there, potentially inside the thing. Like this one's a 2-story, but maybe you have like you have these, but this one doesn't actually have that. You just have a little dig in. Little hole in here. Same on this side. Kind of a similar villager style house. Again, not very tall though, and this is on purpose. Because the idea would be to kind of just be trying to quietly neuter place. Here and there. So like this could be a little something something. Probably gonna make it out of copper. The doors. Heck, you could even go here like this, and then just have. Or heck, I just realized what I did on the inside here, but. Alright. You have a little door, you'd have a little door on the other side. And yeah. Not perfect, but like that kind of idea. Because honestly, I do feel like you'd have potentially. And if it's for the fact that I want this to just look dark back there, that's what it's going to be walled off as well. I would put like a little campfire kind of thing in there as well. It'd just be like, yeah, there's somebody in there as well, just because there's places everywhere for people to be. Kind of going in here as well. Same idea. As this one, although it's a little bit bigger. You just kind of go there. And there. And then everything else would be the brick. Like that. In fact, I think I'm gonna do that there and then that there. But just kind of like sneakily in there. And then you just dig out this way. And then the same on the other side. Perhaps they even have a little bit extra space down here. Yeah. Yeah. There we go, collect all this. I'm still out of room. There we go. We can collect the rest. But just the kind of idea would be that you get little places here and there. Like, you get that one. This one's maybe lit up. Maybe this one's like a little bit quieter and darker vibe-wise. Because you don't want to all have this... Yeah. And I need to go get more stairs, clearly. I feel like that's really what's selling this whole thing, is just kind of all the stairs everywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna go make more stairs, and then... Now I put them more close together, but I don't want to ruin the look, kind of how that is. So yeah. But I don't know, I think it'll look really interesting, especially once you get to the point where it's like you have the little houses all built in there. So you look down, you'll see the water, which by the way is just, yeah, it's gonna be there. And you can also see as you look down and around, a little house there, you can see a little house down there, and just little places like here and there. Nipped in like here, and nipped in there, and there. Yeah. And maybe, for example, you have like a little chair in here for now. Or maybe not, I don't know. Probably not, because part of how I'm really kind of keeping this whole style together was by like that. Kinda. Then there. And then that goes like that, and that just kind of creates a little space in here. And then you can have a little spot maybe that has... I'd switch them out for like whatever it is actually, but... And this is why I would switch it out, because this isn't going to look right because it's that, but if I had a different one, like well, even this, like this could probably work, right? There's a little cushion, and then you can have a little maybe, bed area there. Alrighty, I do need to finish up myself. Pretty tired. Actually, here we go. So we can have a little, like, maybe that's like that, and then you have a little sit area there. A little table. And then that can be... make a little cushion thing there. And have the beds be like that, and then just... singular light. And here, maybe they dug in a little bit deeper, right? And then I'd want walls here, I think. Because we're deep enough, it's not going to show, but... Alright, and then we just do that like that. Stylistically, same style. Although different, because this is farther back. But it lets it light up. And there, and then we just do the same thing here. And then what I'll do once I get some walls is I would put in a little wall here. So you can have one person has their space there, one person has their space there. Oh, by the way, guys, of who's left, what am I playing tomorrow? Forgot to ask. I think he's already gone to bed. Yeah, see? I just realized I'm so tired. Yes. Oh, that's right, it's Zelda. Thank you for reminding me, Snow. Thank you very, very much. I was trying to remember what it was, and I was like, I couldn't remember. Because I'm not tired. Sorry that I kept you longer for a couple seconds. Thank you for reminding me. So yes, tomorrow's Zelda. I think I got a lot of progress done. No, I didn't remember until, like, I really am not kidding when I say I went swimming today, and then I went for a walk, and I'm just beat. It happens. Mystically and magically. I knew I felt like there was something, but I was like, I don't remember. I'm sure somebody would remind me. I almost didn't remember that tonight was supposed to be Bedrock either. I was like, which one is it? I was just like, no, wait, it's Bedrock. Anyway, I think I've gotten a lot done. Quite a bit, actually. As we can see, because like, other than that, we now really do have this nice deep part of the world. And then little places as well to see when you're walking around and be like, yep, there's things in there. I mean, and while it looks like it's like very delicate and quite a bit of space in between, there really isn't. Like, because this here goes out to that spot. It's not very much, but then this goes out to here. If I was to dig like 2 spaces, it'd be in this one's area. So I really am keeping it pretty tight in the little spots that I have a building or whatever. Or something in there. I kind of like the idea of you come in here like that instead. Let me just correct that. And then the middle one will just be the middle one, but and that could go like that. The doors are obviously on the inside part, but it's not great. But it's you get your own home, you know? That's the whole, and you'll be happy about it. Because it's a space. To rest. And then doing the same thing here. Right. Yeah. And then all the way around. I don't have enough, I don't have enough of these. I gotta go make more. So let me go do that. But yeah, it does feel very much more just kind of... Yeah. I don't really have any other way to put it other than just... It just feels more alive that way. You can just tell that I'm just like procrastinating forever and ever until I start working on those pillars again, because the pillars are a lot of work. Realistically. And I just... It's a lot of work. Not that I'm against doing it, mind you, but... Yeah. Alright. Now I have 2 stacks of these. Which hopefully will be enough to kind of really lean into. So there is that. Yeah. And it really does feel low. Like, this feels... nice. Well, I mean, it doesn't feel nice to fall on my face, but... beyond that, it feels pretty good. Just to kind of have more of a design and everything to the whole thing. Room for... Nope. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pop. And then... like that. We're definitely going to need it, and then we're just going to kind of make this wall piece here into this, and then we're going to remove this as well. Oops, I messed up there, I think. But it's not that big a deal. We just put there, because you'll never see it under normal circumstances. Alright, so first things first. So we're just gonna kind of that there. There and there. Nice little encapsulation. And on the outside we have this to go like so. This. I mean, I do like that, but I'm going back to this. So I just feel like it's gonna otherwise not show properly, but yeah, and then you just don't see on the inside versus the outside, and it just creates that nice little space in there. Again, I'm just kind of trying to fit. And then if I had a ton of beds, what I would do is I'd have like a little bunk bed probably on that side and then one bed there. Or you can even go with like a double bed on one side and then a bunk bed on the other side and then play. It's like a little family suite in there that's basically got no space. But hey, I mean they're living there, they're surviving. And that's how it's gonna be. You will. And then this just goes here. There. But, yeah. I mean, it's starting to look good. It really is starting to look good. And it is starting to also just kind of really feel like it, at least here, like, I don't know, I like it. And, I mean, I think the original's fine to be like this, mind you. It's just, it is a little odd to have, ladders, if you don't have something like this, kind of, just to really accentuate that, if you will. I have to figure out what I want to do here as well. I think. I don't know. I haven't decided. But I mean, that really is just so cool looking now. And when it goes all the way to the end, and it's just kind of really, it's just going to be such a cool view to have. And like I said, it'll probably have like a stream of water coming down. It just implies that it's like they just can't get rid of it. Because, as I've said, it really makes no sense to have the draining go both ways. Unless I have like water flowing, so. Although I suppose technically what you could do, or I could do rather, is in places that there's no, here. Like, you could have the one house there, but you could have maybe, like, a water fountain there and one that just, like, flows out eternally, you know? But not on the other side, because obviously this little house is there, but, like, you could have something like that be kind of just, I don't know. I think it'd be better to just kind of have something for them up top and just really lean into that. Now, I'm gonna go heal my poor pickaxe with some stuff. As I have plenty to get rid of. Anything on this side has to go. And it will. Yeah. I would use the other, the hoe, but I just don't feel like it. Alright. I need to figure out where this is on the top so I can finish filling it in. Is it here? Yeah. Go. I'm pretty sure there's one more. There's a lot of stuff. Lovely. And this is gonna just come all the way back here, so yeah, I'm gonna have to do all the work here for this, but it should be fine. It should be fine. Yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty good start, at least. And, well, I say start, but obviously it's not exactly start when you're at this point, but it kind of still feels like a start, because, like, even though I've been working on this project for so long, so much of it is just, like, daunting. Maybe I should just quickly... What's the other thing? Alright, Alright. Alright, I do think I should probably finish, though. I really, really do. Like, I could do maybe one of those, but I don't think I can. I think that I'm just gonna finish now. So... It's been a pleasure having you. I hope to see you again tomorrow for some Zelda fun, as we'll be doing Legend of Zelda No Teleport on Breath of the Wild. Yeah. I hope you have a wonderful day, / night, / whatever it is for you. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for... Oh, yeah, and if it is night for you, by the way, I hope you get a wonderful night's sleep. And, thank you for popping in. Thank you for sticking around. Sorry it's an early stream. But, yeah. I hope you have a great day.